Hello and welcome to the channel, guys. It's the Eradicator, and in this video, well, it's the last video of 2021, and so to finish this year with a bang. By the way, guys, best year ever for the channel, so thank you so much for viewing the videos, hitting the likes button, subscribing. It's been a fantastic year with the ups and downs, obviously, right? Obviously, there are ups and downs, but nevertheless, what a blast. So thank you guys for making this happening. And so to finish this year, let's talk about some predictions for 2022. This is the kind of video that I always like to make at the end of the year. I'm usually more wrong than right, but this time I think that I'm going to be more right than wrong. So we're gonna see, right? 10 predictions for 2022, and the first one is again, told you we'll start with a bang here. Alpha 4.0 is going to be for this year, and Pyro has been heavily teased this year, especially during CitizenCon, right? And also during the Expo, where Jax McElary was going to Pyro, and eventually he will be back next year, right? So what does that mean? Is he going to be back? Will he be bringing Pyro with him next year? I don't know. I obviously don't know, but wishful thinking, obviously. They need to have they need to have server meshing. For that, they've always said that they're very close from the first release of server meshing. When it comes to very close, obviously it's relative, right? Given how long they've been working on server meshing, we're much closer to the release now than we were a couple of years ago, obviously. So that's probably what they mean. But I think that for Pyro, they just need to have a couple of two servers meshing together, right? A server that was going to have the standard system and the server that's going to have Pyro. And I think that it will be possible to do this year. Probably not going to include an increase of players. So I think that if we are able to go to several star systems, we'll still be stuck to 50 players. But at least it's going to expand the possibilities of where we'll be going in the Star Citizen universe by the end of this year. Next, the Banu Merchantman. They've started working on the Banu Merchantman, and usually these kind of ships take a long time to build, but they're working pretty fast. They have a pretty large team of developers and a large team of shipbuilders at CIG. I really believe that the BMM will be ready for this year's Expo. Why? Because, of course, the Expo is the biggest sale of the year in November, each year in November, right? And so they want something that is going to be mind-blowing for people. It was the Karak a couple of years ago, and I really believe that next year it's going to be the Banu Merchantman, a fan favorite. It's been expected for, well, at this point, almost a decade. I think it came out in 2013, if I am correct, sold in 2013 as a concept cell, or in 2014 anyway, but back in those years. So that was a really, really long time ago. People have been expecting it for a long time. People have been really excited when Jared revealed the white box phase of the Banu Merchantman, and I'm pretty sure that as we go by through 2022, we will see it go through gray box and final art, and then by the end of the year, by the Expo in November, it will be up for release and of course for sale, because people are going to be so excited when they're going to want to spend hundreds of dollars to get their hands on the ship. Speaking of ships, I also believe that the Genesis Starliner from Crusader Industries is also going to be not released, but they will start teasing us just like they teased us about the Banu Merchantman this year. And the reason for that is because in 2022, we are going to have the first passenger missions. These are going to be NPC taxi missions, but eventually those are going to be expanded to liners from planet to planet, and eventually from system to system. And it would totally make sense to have the Genesis Starliner for that, especially once we have server-side I keep on saying server-side object continuous stream. Once we have server meshing, and then the workload on servers will be reduced, and we'll be able to have more gameplay involving NPCs. I really believe that NPCs are going to work much better once we have server meshing, and I think that that's also when we're going to have those passenger missions are going to be working a little bit better too, right? Next, salvage. I think 2022 is going to be a year for gameplay, and salvage is definitely going to be one of them. It's been expecting for years, delayed for years, but this is really going to be it. They've been working on the Vulture for quite some time. The Vulture will be the ship that will be bringing salvage to life, it's also going to be it's also going to be possible to salvage by hand with a multi-tool. Probably it's going to have a different laser color because they like to work with gaming lasers, but nevertheless it will be there, and I think that a lot of players will be happy. Next, I don't think that we'll have any Theaters of War news. I don't think we're gonna have Theaters of War this year. Why? Because rumors, these are just rumors obviously, but apparently the rumors are saying that CIG want Theaters of War to be more like a full-fledged game with a lot of different maps, so that it's not always the same repetitive map like we're having in Arena Commander or Star Marine, which I understand. Maybe they are trying to I don't think that they're going to sell it as a separate game, but they want to make it an experience that people are going to be excited playing again and again and again. And I think that they are learning from their own mistakes with Arena Commander and Star Marine, and they're trying not to repeat that. Vice versa, I don't think we're going to have any major Squadron 42 news. I think that 2022 is all going to be about Pyro and server meshing, and then once this will be done, what's coming up in 2023? I think Squadron 42 will have news in 2023, but not in 2022. Next, some bad news. I'm not sure if it's bad news or good news, but I think that in 2022, the LA studio will close. Why? That's because CIG are investing major money, lots of money in new office buildings here in Manchester, as well as not office building, but office space in Manchester, England, and Frankfurt, Germany. And they are going to really recenter their activity around these two locations. Of course, they will keep the historic studio at Austin, Texas, and there's also the one at Montreal now. But I think that now that Chris Roberts is moving to Manchester, the whole point of having a studio in Los Angeles was for Chris Roberts because he lived there. That was his hometown. But he moved back to Manchester, and I think that if I'm correct, Jared is also going to Manchester. I could be wrong, but I think that I read it at some point, right? And I believe that more staff are going to be moving to Manchester and Frankfurt. I think it's very important that all the staff are at the same place at the same time, something that we've seen especially very important during in this pandemic era, where people eventually work from home, where the coordination is very important. If everybody is scattered around multiple offices around the world, it's just not good for coordination and overall teamwork. So that's why I think that this is going to happen, or at least if it is not closed, it will be significantly scaled down. Next, I think that the cargo rework will take place, and it will completely change how training works. Obviously, this is also going to be involving the Hull series. We know that the Hull A is scheduled to be coming for Q1 of 2022, if it is not delayed, obviously, because we still need to have the next roadmap update that is going to be giving us more information on that. I also think that this is going to really be quite a major change, because it's going to be physicalized. So we are going to have to manually put our SU boxes on the cargo grid. It will take a long time, and on top of that, we should also have physicalized hangars as well. So the hangars will not be in their own separate server, in their own separate modules. The hangars will finally be part of the verse, and we'll be able to stock some of the cargo there as well. We'll buy it, stock it, and sell it whenever maybe the price is a little bit better. It's going to really be exciting, and I can't wait to be trying this out. I also think that the next star system after Pyro and Nyx will be announced, because if Pyro is released, and obviously we've already seen Nyx before, we know that after Pyro it's going to be Nyx with the return of Delamar. Nyx is not really going to be a very hard system to make. Delamar is already done. Delamar is like the most difficult planet to be doing there. You have like a gas giant and some really boring places apart from Delamar and that gas giant. So really nothing exciting there about Nyx. So I think the next star systems will be announced. I really believe that it's going to be Terra, because they really need to start working on those terrestrial planets with multiple biomes that are going to be a bit more rich and diverse compared to Hurston, which is kind of dead because of how polluted it is. But this remains to be seen, right? But my bet here is on Terra. It could be also that star system where Drake is located. It's like some kind of farm planet. Could also be an interesting one if they don't want to be taking the huge endeavor that is Terra on, obviously, right? Next, I think that Quanta will be online. Unfortunately, we haven't had Quanta this year. The Tony Z did say that he wanted to try to get a very first iteration for the end of this year, and his objective was to try to make Jumptown 2.0 be triggered by Quanta. It's not the case right now. It's manually triggered with schedules that we are having available on robotspaceindustries.com, but in the future he wants these events to be triggered by player actions, and I think they're really close according to what they've been saying. And so I think that we'll have the very first iterations of Quanta, just like server meshing in 2022. And finally, I really believe this one is an easy one, easy prediction, but I think that we will definitely pass the $500 million marks in terms of player funding in 2022. We've easily passed the 400 million mark now. We are well past 420 million. And we don't even need to break a new record to get past 500 million at this point. And as we get more citizens, more people joining us year after year after year, funding is just only going to grow exponentially unless some major catastrophe is happening at CIG. And I don't see why this is not going to happen. Anyway, guys, these are my top 10 predictions for Star Citizen in 2022. Let me know what yours are. It's always interested to see what you guys think. Am I being too optimistic here, or did I forget anything? Something else perhaps you'd like to talk about? Let me know in the comment section down below. That's all for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much to Eric Ohm and Dr. Forbidden and all the other people who support me on Patreon and via the YouTube John membership. You guys have also been absolutely amazing. Support has skyrocketed, and thank you so much. The next video will be the giveaway video. We'll have an amazing giveaway again in January. You don't want to be missing that one out. This is the Eradicator. Happy New Year. I'll see you guys later. A huge shout out to everyone who's been helping me out on Patreon and via the YouTube Join membership program. Creating content on YouTube involves continuous circles of ups and downs, and it is when we are the lower parts of the curve that your help really motivates me to keep on going. Your contribution really does make a difference, which is why in return I try to give back by offering backers access to my private Discord channel, automatic access to exclusive giveaways, or answering your questions during the show. You can help me out with as little as $1 a month, and any help is greatly appreciated. Thank you very much for watching again. This is the Eradicator. I'll see you guys later.